start.
Yes, sir, we play the video
Yes,
or directly we can start?
we can play the video.
Okay.
Good evening to all other present here. As a part of IET, I extend my heartfelt thanks and welcome to each and every one of you who have taken your weekend time to spare with us and to learn something new. So this is this 8th webinar which is conducted by IET Kanyakumari local network this year. So this year this session is very important because we have chosen a good resource person with a good topic, which is interview skills. So we have Dr. Bini Marin, who is the Assistant Professor and Head of the Department of Management Business Studies, and she is from Scott Christian College of Autonomous College. And I kindly request our Chairman of IET Kanyakumari Local Network and Principal of Arunachala College of Engineering, Dr. Joseph Xavier sir, to welcome the gathering and as well as introduce the chief guest of the day. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Geoffer. Good evening, all of you. So IET KKLN is organizing webinar every month. In continuation of that, today we are organizing a webinar on interview skills. The youngsters, those who are seeking job, this skill is very, very essential. So the person who is right to speak on this topic is none other than today's chief guest, Dr. Bini Marin. Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Business Studies in Scott Christian College in Nagarkoil. On behalf of all the office bearers of IET KKLN and participants, I am very happy to welcome our chief guest. Welcome you, ma'am. Next, I am happy to welcome Secretary of IET KKLN, Dr. Marsaline Beno, Vice Principal, Xavier Catholic College. So for this webinar. Next, I welcome Treasurer of IET KKLN, Dr. Jaish, Professor, ECA Department, St. Xavier's Catholic Engineering College for this webinar. I also welcome the Vice Chairman, Joint Secretary, Joint Treasurer, YP Chairman, Executive Committee members, CCA member of IET KKLN for this webinar. I am very happy to welcome the event coordinator as well as YP Vice Chairman, Engineer Geoffer for this webinar. I welcome all the participants, those who are joined through this online platform. Really, this program will be useful for you. I think most of the youngsters students are joined in this event. Definitely, this will be very useful for your career. So I am taking this opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Bini Marin, completed BCom and MBA from Marsaline Memorial Christian College, Marthandam, MPhil in Management from Alapa University, Karaikudi, PhD in Management from Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal. She secured 4th rank in MBA and stood school second in 12th standard. She is having 17 years of teaching experience and 1 year of industry experience. She is guiding 6 research scholars in the area of business administration. She has presented 29 national level papers and 14 international level papers. She was the board of study member in St. Mary's College for Women, Thoothukudi, MS University, Tirunelveli. She also given various guest lecture and interview panel members for various reputed organizations. Presently, she is working as Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Business Studies in Scott Christian College of Nagarkoil. We are very happy to have such a fortunate research person for today's program. I am very delighted to welcome our resource person to take over the section. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for those wonderful words, sir. So good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible. Geoffer?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks once again, and I'm very much happy, and I feel so blessed to be the part of this IET webinar. And I thank and I record my thanks and appreciation to the entire team of this IET. Who are responsible for this beautiful, association or academy, whatever it is. Okay. So, and I'm very much thankful to Bright sir, because he was the one who actually he was like pushing me to be the part of this webinar. I'm very much thankful to him also. And I'm here to discuss on the topic, as it said that it's on interview skills, because like I was told that most of the engineering students, those who are pursuing their education in engineering field will be the part of this webinar. So I thought, okay, I will share my views on interview skills. So can I share my PPT?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Fine. So interview skills. So right, like everyone is very fond of getting good jobs, because we all study, we the students study, we strive, we struggle. Everything is, our destination is to get a good job. I hope you all agree with me. And in order to get a good job, you have to process yourself, you have to carry out certain things, and one particular thing is preparing yourself for the interview. So I'm given some 30 to 35 minutes. So another 30 to 35 minutes we'll be discussing about what is an interview, what are the skills the companies are really expecting, and how to prepare ourselves for the interview. And of course, what should be the dress code for interview, and how to be on time for the interview. And we'll be discussing what are the different types of interview, and what is the role of body language. So that is also very important during interviews. The interviewers see how is your body language. So what is the role of body language, and what should be our communication skill during our interview session, and then how to close the interview. And of course, I will be giving you input or a tip to how to identify our skills. So in order to be perfect or to be potential in the interview process, how to identify our own skills and how it is possible. There are lots of social medias, everything, but I will be focusing on one particular mantra which will help you to carry out, it will help you to put you on track towards interview. And of course, finally, we'll be discussing about a few FAQs, what sort of questions are really asked in the interview sessions. Okay, so we'll get into the discussion. So interview. So as we all know, interview is something where the interviewer or the employer, he will be discussing or he will be having a sort of interaction with the candidate. And what happens is, it is a sort of he will be trying to extract what sort of knowledge the candidate is having, what sort of skills the candidate is having, and whether the candidate is really possessing the desired behavior which is expected by the employer or the concern or the organization. So all these things are really discussed in the interview session, and it takes place within a very short period. So that is what this particular activity is, what is known as interview. We all know, right? Right. So this thing, actually, I got it from the Google, and it says that it speaks about, this particular slide speaks about the skills which the employers are really expecting from the candidates. So even if we are in the pandemic period, the employers are very keen on seeing whether you have a set of skills. So the skills are actually divided into two, that is soft skills and hard skills. And under soft skills, you have top 5. I have taken only the top 5 skills, and under hard skills, top 10 skills. So these are all the really expected skills, which is really like whether the employer will be checking, or whether he will be analyzing whether these skills are really whether you possess or not. So so under soft skills, you can see that creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, emotional intelligence. So all these skills, actually, they will be in a very short period, they will be checking, they will be analyzing whether you have all these soft skills and hard skills. Okay, so we'll get into the next slide, where I'll be explaining you in short that how to prepare ourselves for the interview, what things you have to do before getting into the interview part. So like it's a bit tedious, it's a tedious job, but still we have to work it on. So the first thing is, when you have applied for the job, definitely you should know. So once you have applied, once you have sent your resume to the organization, you should know what sort of company it is. So this thing is very easier nowadays, because you have smartphones, you have internet connectivity at home. So by sitting at home itself, by sitting in the place or in one particular place, you can just browse about the concern. Like you will be able to know the A to Z about the concern. So what sort of company it is, what business they are dealing with, how many departments are there, what sort of products they are dealing with, how many employees are there, what sort of skills they are really expecting, what qualification is there with the employee, or like the employees are possessing. All those things you will be able to browse it, and you will be able to find out. So that this is the first thing you have to do before getting for an interview. And second one is reread your resume. Of course, definitely you would have sent your resume. So most of the time what happens is, when the interviewer asks a question, or when he wants to make a sort of clarification which you have already given in the resume, so most of the time the candidates, they start blinking. So the thing is, you should be very much confident about the factors or the informations which you have already given in the resume. So for that, you have to reread your resume. You have to go through your resume again and again. You should see what sort of things you have added and what informations you have given to the, because some cases what happens is you would have applied for the 2 organizations, 2 companies, and you would have sent 2 different resumes, say for your objectives or like some of the details. You would have edited it, you would have made changes in your resume for one particular concern and which will be different from the other one. So in that case, you should be very much confident. You should go through your resume again and again, and you should not get confused about the informations which you have given in the biodata or resume. And recollect your achievements and strengths. Of course, this is a one particular question where the interviewer will be very much playing with. They will be trying to identify your achievements, your strengths. So you should be very much clear. You should be very much confident about what is my achievement, what I have achieved till now. So if as a student, what I have achieved in the campus. So if you say that I have completed my education and I'm out of the campus now, okay, out of the campus, what is your achievement? What things you're doing now? So all those things has to be recollected, and of course your strengths. What you say, what are your strengths? When you're asked that what are your strengths, you should be able to list it out. This is my strength. So of course, when you're asked about the strength, definitely they will ask about your weaknesses also. So what are your weaknesses? You cannot say that I don't have any sort of weakness. So you should tell your weakness in such a way that you should say, this is my weakness, but I try to overcome my weakness with this. So say for example, if you're applying a job in HR department or in an American-based company, and if you're asked that what are your weakness, if I say that my weakness is I'm a very short-tempered person, immediately I should say that, okay, I'm a very short-tempered person, but I try to overcome my weakness with some yoga. I do yoga every day. I practice yoga. I do exercises. And as a result, I try to control my short temper. So this is how you have to deal with actually. And then you should collect all the evidences and documents is ready with you. So you have given in your resume stating that you were the convener inside the campus or organizing a particular program, particular seminar, an intercollegiate meet. So if you say you have mentioned it, definitely that particular information needs some sort of evidence. It may be in a form of an invitation, a photograph, or whatever it is, a booklet, or a newspaper cutting, whatever it is. So everything needs some sort of evidence. Simply you cannot brush your informations in the air and say that I was this, I have this particular thing. When I was inside the campus, I did this, did that. No. So everything needs some sort of evidences, and before the interview, you should see that you are getting ready with all these documents and evidences. And of course, the last part of the interview is you should see the location where your company is located. So most of the cases, what happens is, say for example, if the company is in Chennai or Bangalore, so many of the candidates, I have seen that early morning they will just go and they will just they will reach that particular place in Chennai or Bangalore, and say by 10 o'clock they are supposed to be in the interview hall. So there will be some sort of problems for reaching them. They say I came late by 10 minutes due to the traffic, so those sort of things need to be avoided. So in order to avoid or in order to remove those sort of bottlenecks, what you have to do is before 2 days or before a day of your interview, you should visit that particular location. You should see that where your company is being located and how far it is from your place where you're staying and how much time it will take you and what about the traffic. Everything needs to be calculated, and these things are really expected out of a candidate to prepare himself or herself before an interview. Okay. Next, dressing for an interview, dress code. This is very important. The first impression is the best impression. So when you look up to a person, So what happens is we say that this person is so and so. Well, say for example, if you go to a hospital, you may not be knowing who the doctor is. You might be sitting there and you see someone just entering into the passage. You immediately stand up. Why? Because of the appearance, the dressing sense. Maybe you go to a college after seeing a principal. You don't know who the principal is, but we stand up after seeing a person. So dressing is very, very important. In Tamil we say "Aarpadi, Aadaipadi." So it's very important. Dressing is very, very important. So how you should dress? You should dress very formal, well groomed, yes, of course, and as much as possible, you should wear cotton dresses. I always advise, whenever I go for training sessions and all, I advise the students to wear cotton dresses. If it is a boy, he should go for cotton shirts, and if it is a girl, he should go for cotton salwars or cotton saris. So it's always good to wear cotton dresses. And of course, when I was browsing through the net, I see most of the experts, they say that wearing blue color, light blue shade, it gives a very pleasant look during interview sessions. So as much as possible, go for light shades like blue, light gray, white. So that will give a very good, a very good impression on the opponent. Clear? So dress formally, and because we know that we won't get a second chance once you are into the interviews hall. After looking at you, they will get into a judgment that okay, this man or this girl is like this. So after that, you cannot change it. So the first look itself, you should impress the interviewers. And then wearing something that makes you feel comfortable. Of course, as I told you, wearing so many of the persons, they go with when going for an interview sessions, they will wear a new suit or a new shirt or new chudi, newly stitched chudidar, which like what happens is they won't be feeling comfortable sometimes. So it's always advisable to wear a dress with which you are really comfortable. And of course, wearing cotton dresses is always advisable. Okay. And very simple accessories. Don't wear heavy jewelries. Don't have all those mallipu, pichipu and all in hair. So especially for the girls, because try to be very formal. So wear very less accessories and perfumes or the deodorants, whatever you're using. Just see that it is very very mild. Yeah, so if you're using aftershave lotions and all, it should be pleasant to the intensity should not be very strong for the perfumes. So these things has to be kept in mind before, if you're planning for an interview and call letters, and also there'll be some small responsibilities which you have to carry out. So in that situation, you require some 15 to 20 minutes. So be on time. See that you're not too late or too early. And then don't carry your baggages. That's very important. Once I remember, I went for an interview in Tyagarajar College, Madurai, and I saw that many of the candidates, they came for the interview there with their suitcase, their traveling bags, as if they are in the railway station or airports. No. So try to avoid those baggages. As much as possible, you try to keep your baggage in the place where you stayed. Definitely you would have taken a room to stay. So keep it inside there, or if you have a car or whatever it is, don't carry it inside the interview hall. So because it will give you a sort of tension, because every time you have to carry it here and there, and you have to look after your baggage. So all those things will just it will swipe you away from your you won't be able to concentrate in the interview part. And then have a smile, and always when you're going for an interview, give a very firm handshake to the person who is sitting next to you. So that's very, very important. Sometimes what happens when you go for an interview, you don't talk to anyone, you don't mingle with anyone. And sometimes what happens is you will talk a lot that you won't be able to concentrate on your interview part. So in that case, in order to keep you on track, always carry a book or a newspaper of that particular day. So that will help you to say hi, hello, and then you can go through your book or the magazine or the journal, whatever you are having in your hand, so that you won't get distracted from for what purpose you are there. Yeah, so these are the things you have to do when you're planning for an interview, or when you're going to that particular location for an interview. Right. Types of interview. There are a lot of types. If you browse in the Google, you can see that there are more than 25 types of interviews. But I have taken few which are very prominent among the corporates. So the first one is behavioral interview. They will check your behaviors. They will try to pull up your behaviors. What sort of behaviors you have, what sort of characters you have, what sort of personality traits you have. Will you be able to lead a team? Will you be able to maintain secrets? Will you be able to interact with customers? Will you be able to be in a team? So all those things are really extracted in this particular behavioral interview. And the second type is called stress interview. So stress interview is an interview. This is conducted in order to bring out the real trait of the candidate. What sort of trait that candidate is possessing. So most of the time, what we do is we hide ourselves, we hide our trait. So that is called hidden self. If you know psychology, in psychology there's something called hidden self. நான் என்னை மறைச்சிட்டு இன்னொரு ஆள் மாதிரி அடுத்தவங்களுக்கு தான். நான் உண்மையிலே நான் வந்து ஒரு பயங்கரமான ஒரு ஆளா இருப்பேன், but I will show off in such a way that the world or the society will ரொம்ப நல்லவங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. So in order to bring out the real trait, they conduct this stress interview. And what happens during stress interview is the entire session of that interview process will be carried out in such a manner that the candidate will go blank. So nothing will be there in the brain, nothing will be there in the sense. And he will be asked all unwanted questions, sometimes some personal questions, sometimes in order to check whether the person will be able to handle the situation, like in order to bring out his real trait. This particular stress interviews are really conducted. And the next one is depth interview. Depth interview means here during the interview session, the interviewer will extract all the details of the candidate, the A to Z details. Even if you try to hide the details, you'll try to bring it up. So this is again an interview to know that whether the candidate is giving all the genuine informations to the organization or the interviewer. So he will ask a lot of questions. The questions will be asked in such a manner that the informations will slowly come out. So that's called depth interview. And this is another one is ladder interview. It's quite interesting. Most of the time when we ask a candidate, because I know few incidences, because I am also in an interview panel of few of the colleges. So when we ask the candidates, what is your hobby? Unga hobby enna appdin ketona, immediately the response when yosikama they will say that reading books is my hobby. So reading books is your hobby. Okay, good. What was the recent book which you read? Who is your favorite author? A favorite author yaru? Favorite author oda and favorite author எழுதுன ஒரு ரீசன்ட்டான புக்கோட பேர் சொல்லுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி immediately I will get a question. So you should be very careful. If the session is a ladder interview session, it's also called as chained interview. Chained interview nu solluvaanga. So the answer which the candidate gives, candidate enna answer kudukrangalo and the answer lende the interviewer will formulate a question. So it will go like that, ladder madri or chain madri poite. So you should be very careful. So if you are asked about your hobby, you should say the genuine thing. What is your hobby? If you say I love music, okay, music la nijamave interest illa mattunda you should say that I love music, because you will get another question from music. So that's what is called. So this is to check the genuinity of answers, whether the candidate is giving right answers or not. Okay. Okay, panel interview. Panel usually on interview session there will be one interviewer who will be interacting with one particular candidate. But in panel interviews there will be board of members, board of interviewers, more than 2 persons who will be interacting with the candidate. So what is the problem in this panel interview? The panel problem or the problem which the candidate face during this panel interview is, what happens is, if there are 5 persons, 5 subject experts, all the 5 will be expert in different disciplines. So because of that, the candidate will be getting questions from 5 different disciplines. So ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒரு எலக்ட்ரிக்கல்ஸ்ல இருந்து ஒரு क्वेश्चनனா இன்னொருத்தருக்கு மேனேஜ்மென்ட் சைடுல இருந்து ஒரு क्वेश्चन. இமிடியேட்டா அடுத்த क्वेश्चन வேற ஒரு கரண்ட் அஃபேர்ஸ்ல. So there are chances of getting some sort of confusion. So panel interviews is a tough interview, but there's if you're really prepared for the session, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, and group interviews. So when the number of candidates are more in number, the interviewer will group the candidates, and some sort of some case study cases will be given to them, and they'll be asked to present the case. And out of that, say for example, if there are 10 persons in a group, out of those 10, 1 or 2 will be selected for the final interview. So conducting interview in groups nowadays, it's very common in multinational companies, and all the corporates are adopting this group interview. So that's why I thought I should include it in here. Fine. And the last one is virtual interview. So in 2020 and 2021, most of the corporates are going for virtual interview, and you know the reason for that. Because of this pandemic period, all the corporates are forced to go for virtual interview. So even if you want a job in say for example Manipur, or if you want a job in Gujarat, very well, you need not travel a very big way to Gujarat or Manipur. You can stay at Nagarkoil, you can sit in front of your laptop, and you can just interact with the interviewers. So that is possible, and that is virtual interviews. So these are some of the very prominent interviews which you can come across in the corporate sectors. Fine. Body language. So this is very important. Non-verbal, so not like that. Then open gestures. So whatever you speak, you open up your hands, open up your face, open up your mouth and speak out. So the gestures should be very open. And when you open up yourself, when you open your arms, like palms, and when you speak, it shows that you are really confident. And one more thing I would like to add here is interview ku poravanga, they should not அந்த அவங்களோட கையை வந்து இந்த ஷோல்டர்ஸ்க்கு மேலே வந்து they should not take. இப்படி மேலே கொண்டு வந்து ஃபேஸை தொடுறது, ஹேரை தொடுறது, கண்ணை தொடுறது, மூக்கு தொடுறது, இந்த மாதிரிப்பட்ட கெஸ்டர்ஸ் வந்து it should be avoided. So when you சில சமயத்துல இன்டர்வியூவர் பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது if we are touching our ear, நம்ம காதை எப்படி டச் பண்ண தெரியாம தான் டச் பண்ணோம். பட் அதுல என்ன இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் அங்கே பாஸ் ஆகும்னா, you are not interested in hearing the interviewer's talk. இன்டர்வியூவர் ஒரு விஷயத்த சொல்றாருன்னா அவங்களுக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இல்லைங்கிறத, அது வந்து கேர்ள்ஸ்க்கு வந்து நிறைய அந்த மாதிரி பிரச்சனைகள் இருக்கும். என்னன்னா அவங்களே தெரியாம அவங்க கம்மல் சரி பண்ணுவாங்க. அப்பதான் அவங்க அந்த கம்மல் என்ன கம்மல் போட்டிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பார்ப்பாங்க. ஆக்சுவலி அது அவங்களே தெரியாம அவங்க பண்றது, பட் we should try to control it. கிளாஸ் ரூம்ஸ்ல when we handle sessions, கிளாஸ் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது ஒரு 30 minutes ஆனோன்னா பசங்க தெரியாம காதை தொடுவான், வாட்ஸ்அப் பார்ப்பான். அது வந்து அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாம ஒரு சார்ட் ஆஃப் சிக்னல் they give to the teacher that they are getting bored or டைம் ஆக போகுது, லஞ்ச் டைம், அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிக்னல். ஸோ அதே மாதிரி தான் இன்டர்வியூவருக்கும் அந்த சிக்னல் கிடைக்கும். ஸோ தோஸ் திங்ஸ் அதை வந்து நம்ம கண்டிப்பா என்ன செய்யணும், கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணணும். அண்ட் யூ ஷுட் நாட் ட்ரூப். இருக்கிறத வந்து அப்படி ஒரு மாதிரி வளைஞ்சிட்டு நம்ம ஷோல்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அப்படி ஷ்ரிங்க் பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு கையெல்லாம் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு உட்காராம யூ ஷுட் சிட் வெரி கான்ஃபிடென்ட் and breathe very deeply. So when you have deep breath, when you breathe very deep, you will be oxygen supply proper இருந்துட்டே இருக்கும்போது ஒரு கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் லெவல் மெயின்டைன் ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் வந்து ட்ராப் ஆகாது. அண்ட் சில சமயத்தில் you will be offered with a glass of water இல்லைன்னா ஒரு bottle of water offer பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ ஆஃபர் பண்ணுவேன் இல்லை எனக்கு வேண்டாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அதை ரெஃப்யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. யூ ஷுட் அக்செப்ட், அதை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும். எஸ் தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ மேம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி யூ ஷுட் அக்செப்ட். அண்ட் ப்ராக்டிஸ் ஹேண்ட் ஷேக்ஸ், இது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஹேண்ட் ஷேக்ஸும் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணணும். ஸோ வென் எவர் யூ கிவ் அ ஹேண்ட் ஷேக், வந்து இன்டர்வியூ செஷனுக்கு போகும்போது முடிச்சு வெளியில் வர்றப்போ மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த டைம் இன்டர்வியூவர் ஒரு ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் கொடுப்பாரு. இப்போ ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் கொடுக்கும்போது நீ எப்படி ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் கொடுக்குற? ஸோ ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் வந்து பாம் டவுன் கொடுக்குறியா, பாம் அப் கொடுக்குறியா, இல்லை பாம் ஸ்ட்ரைட்டாக கொடுக்குறியா, தட் இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ பாம் டவுன் கொடுக்குற அப்படின்னா, இப்படி கொடுக்குற அப்படின்னா, ஐ ஹோப் யூ ஆர் ஏபிள் டு see me. ஸோ ஹேண்ட் பாம்ஸ் டவுன் கொடுக்குறேன்னா அது இட் மீன்ஸ் தட் யூ ட்ரை டு டாமினேட் அதர்ஸ். ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ குட் ட்ரெய்ட் if you are going for a like ஒரு மேனேஜர் பொசிஷனுக்கு, ஒரு சூப்பர்வைசர் மாதிரி அந்த மாதிரி போஸ்ட்டுக்கு நீ வந்து அப்ளை பண்ணுறேன்னா ஹேண்ட் டவுன்னா ஓகே. பட் இட்ஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் லைக் நான் சொல்கிறேன் how you should give a handshake. Another one is palm up. இப்படி கொடுப்பாங்க சிலவங்க. இப்போ ஆப்போசிட் பர்சன் இப்படி கொடுக்கும்போது இவங்க வந்து இப்படி வாங்குவாங்க, ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் இப்படி வாங்குவாங்க. அது வந்து it should be avoided. So the thing is the opponent, he or she is trying to dominate us. அவங்க வந்து நம்மள டாமினேட் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்றாங்கன்னா, ஸோ எப்படி ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் பண்ணுறது? ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் பண்ணும்போது யூ ஷுட் see that your palm is straight. உன்னோட ஷோல்டருக்கு ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்டாக இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஹேண்ட் ஷேக். ஸோ ஒரு நியூட்ரலான ஹேண்ட் ஷேக். அது எந்த இடத்துலனாலும் சரி தான், அது ஒரு ஃபார்மல் மீட்டிங்னாலும் சரி தான், இன்டர்வியூ செஷன்னாலும் சரி தான், வேற ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் ரிலேட்டடான ஒரு பர்சனை நீ மீட் பண்ணாலும் சரி தான், யூ ஷுட் see that you are giving a straight ஹேண்ட் ஷேக். நிறைய நேரத்தில் மக்கள் வந்து மாற்றி கொடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ that way we should be very careful in that. So that was about the body language. And communication, how we should communicate. So அந்த டோன் வந்து it should match with the interviewer's tone. So ரொம்ப ஹையா இல்லாம, சிலவர் will be very soft, he will be talking very low. அப்போ வந்து நம்மளோட டோனும் அதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி லோவா இருக்கும். சில சமயத்துல he will be very loud. So அவர் சத்தமா பேசுறாருன்னு சொல்லிட்டு we should not speak loud. So that should be like noted. And then listen carefully to the interviewers like questions. சில சமயத்துல questions கேட்டு முடிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம என்ன செஞ்சிருவோம், ஆன்சர் சொல்ல ஆரம்பிச்சோம். ஸோ அது வந்து we should avoid it. So wait for the interviewer to complete the question. சில சமயத்துல சில இன்டர்வியூவர்ஸ் வந்து அப்படியே ஒரு எஸ்ஏ மாதிரியே பேசிட்டு இருப்பாங்க ஜென்ரலா. ஸோ ரொம்ப பொறுமையா, have patience for the thing to get completed. அவர் எப்போ பேசி முடிக்கிறாரோ அதை வந்து முடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் ரொம்ப பேஷன்ஸோட பொறுமையா காத்திருக்கிறது, இட்ஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். And try not to use jargon answers or questions. So what is jargon language? Business students ku kandipa theriyum. Jargon language means professionals use பண்ற language. If you say ஒரு டாக்டர் நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்குன்னு ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ் இருக்கும். நம்ம ஃபீவர்னு சொல்றது அவங்க வேற மாதிரி ஒரு சொல்லுவோம். நம்ம ஆக்சிடென்ட்னு சொல்றது அவங்க ட்ராமா அப்படின்பாங்க. நம்ம போயிட்டு அங்க ட்ராமா நடந்துச்சுன்னா அதுக்கு ஆப்போசிட்ல இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு அது டிராமா மாதிரி தான் கேட்கும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஜார்கன் லாங்குவேஜஸ் அவாய்ட் பண்றது. சீப் அப்படிங்கிற வேர்ட், CHEAP, சீப். அது வந்து சீப்புங்கிறதுக்கு ரெண்டு மீனிங் இருக்கு. The apples were cheap அப்படின்னு நான் சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னா ஆப்பிள்ஸ் ரொம்ப சீப்பா கிடைச்சது எனக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவேன். இல்ல அது சீப், ஆப்பிள் வந்து ரொம்ப சீப்பா இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதுக்கு இன்னொரு சென்ஸும் இருக்கு. என்னது, அந்த ஆப்பிள்ஸ் வந்து நல்லா இல்ல சீப்பா இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு ஒரு சென்ஸ். So whenever you are using such type of words, அந்த மாதிரி வேர்ட்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது you should be very careful. So jargon language, ஒரு வேர்டுக்கு 2 or more meanings இருக்குன்னா you should avoid such type of words. Okay, and you should have a very good eye contact with நம்ம பார்த்து ஒரு கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணும்போது, இன்டர்வியூவர் கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ற நேரத்துல ஒரு அந்த அவர் பேசுறதுல வந்து நமக்கு ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குங்கிறத காமிக்கிறது. யார் பேசுறாங்களோ அவங்களோட ஐபால்ஸை வந்து கண்டிப்பா நம்ம வந்து பார்த்துட்டே இருக்கோம். அண்ட் அவங்க வந்து அந்த ஐபால்ஸ் கான்டாக்ட் கரெக்டா இருக்கணும். பிளஸ் அட் த சேம் டைம் we should see that we are maintaining a smile, showing that we are interested in listening to that particular person. So as I told you, some of the interviewers, they will be talking they will be giving a very big message. It won't be a short question. So on the situation, you should show your interest. Is it? Yes. Oh, it's very good or nice to know. Or அவங்களை இன்டரப்ட் பண்ணாம அவங்களை டிஸ்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணாம அந்த மாதிரி இன்னும் ஒரு ஸ்மைலோட நம்ம வந்து கேட்கறது ஒரு ஆர்வமா கேட்கிறோம் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு ஃபைன். And your posture, the way you sit, it should show that you are really confident. உள்ள போய் உட்காரும் போதே ஃபைல் எல்லாம் வச்சுட்டு அப்படி ரொம்ப அப்படி பயந்தது மாதிரி ரொம்ப அப்படி உட்கார்ந்து தேவை கிடையாது. So you should look confident. So your spinal bone should be straight wherever you are sitting. If it is an armchair வச்சிருந்தா rest your arms. ரெண்டு சைடுல ரெண்டு ஆர்ம்ஸையும் வந்து armchairs la rest பண்ணுங்க. And if you don't have an armchair, don't worry, you rest your arms on your lap. So இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா உட்காரணும், கால் ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா வைக்கணும், இது எல்லாமே வந்து it will give a portrait that you are really confident. Fine. So that was about communication. Yeah. So of course there's one more point. You should mirror up the interviewer's body. So sometimes when they ask question and when you're giving an answer or answer நீங்க சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கும்போது அந்த ஃபேஸ்லயே தெரியும் அவங்க வந்து whether they are interested in listening to your answer or whether they are trusting your answer அப்படிங்கிறது நமக்கு அந்த ஃபேஸை பார்க்கும்போது தெரியும். அந்த ஃபேஸ் வந்து if it is not showing a positive sense, then it's good to stop your answer there. Some cases what happens is பின்னாடி உட்காந்துருந்தவங்க ரொம்ப ஆர்வமா ஃப்ரண்ட்ல வந்து உட்காந்து ஃப்ரண்ட்ல they will just come forward and they will listen to you. It will happen. It happens. நிறைய இடத்துல நம்ம பேச போகும்போது பின்னாடி சாஞ்சு உட்காந்துருந்தவங்க ரொம்ப ஆர்வமா அவங்களுக்கே தெரியாம அப்படியாங்கிற மாதிரி அவங்க ஃப்ரண்ட்ல வருவாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி திங்ஸை வந்து we should like note it out. Like okay, அவங்க வந்து they are showing their interest so that you can have some more reinforcement. You can add some sort of reinforcements to your answer. So when you are giving an answer, the answers இன்னும் strengthen பண்றதுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் செய்ய முடியுமா சொல்ல முடியுமா சொல்றதுக்கு it open up the pathway. Clear? So that was about the communication and fine. So that was about the communication during interview. And how to close your interview. So interview is like you are expecting a job and the job கிடைக்கிறதுக்கு நீ வந்து ஸ்ட்ரகிள் பண்ணதெல்லாம் நீ வந்து அதை ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணிட்டு நீ அங்கேருந்து இப்போ கிளம்ப போற. ஸோ அது வந்து ப்ராப்பராக கிளம்பணும். நீ இவ்வளோ நேரம் ஒரு 10 to 12 minutes you may be presenting yourself. நீ ரொம்ப நல்லா ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்க. ஸோ ஒரு பாசிட்டிவான ரிமார்க் the interviewer would have given you on the paper. கிளம்பி வர்ற நேரத்துல வந்து சில சமயத்துல சில டிராபேக்ஸ் வந்து எஸ்பெஷலி பாய்ஸ் ஆர் கேர்ள்ஸ் who are ஷூஸ் போடுறவங்க அவங்க they should see that அவங்க வந்து பின்னாடியும் என்ன செய்யணும் பாலிஷ் பண்ணணும். ஃப்ரண்ட்ல மட்டும் பாலிஷ் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க நிறைய பர்சன்ட். ஸோ அது வந்து ஒரு சில பிகாஸ் இது வந்து கார்பரேட் சைட்ல இருந்து சொல்ற ஒரு இது. So they will when you walk out they will look at you how you are going, how you shoot backல polish பண்ணலன்னா it shows that you are lazy. சும்மா ஒரு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் சிச்சுவேஷனை டேக்கிள் பண்றதுக்கு நீ ஒரு முடிவை எடுப்பியே தவிர மற்றபடி அதை வந்து அதுல சஸ்டெயின் ஆக மாட்டா அப்படின்னு ஒரு கன்க்ளூஷன் வந்துடுவாங்க. ஸோ ஷூ பாலிஷ் பண்றது, கிளம்பி போகும்போது ஒரு ஸ்மைல் கொடுக்கறது, ஒரு ஹேண்ட் ஷேக் கொடுக்கறது, இது எல்லாமே இட்ஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ when you say thank you sir or thank you madam on the voice, ஸோ அந்த சொல்ற விதம் அவங்கள வந்து it should if they're like they should get impressed with your smile, they should get impressed with your handshake, they should get impressed with your thank you. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இம்ப்ரெஷனோட ஒரு பாசிட்டிவான ஒரு இம்ப்ரெஷனோட யூ ஷுட் வாக் அவுட். ஸோ எவ்வளோ கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா யூ என்டர்ட் இன் டு த ரூம், அந்த ரூம்குள்ளால எவ்வளோ கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா என்டர் ஆனியோ அதே கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ் லெவலோட யூ ஷுட் வாக் அவுட். சில சமயத்தில் என்ன ஆகும், யூ ஹவ் என்டர்ட் வெரி கான்ஃபிடென்ட்லி, ரொம்ப நல்லா ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருப்பேன். ஒரு 10 to 12 minutes ஆனோட ஒரு எக்ஸாஸ்ட் ஆயிரும். நமக்கு ஒரு கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ் இருக்கும், ஓகே நல்லா பண்ணிட்டோம் அப்படின்னு தோணும். ஓகே யூ மே கோ அப்படின்னு சொன்னோன்னே எழும்பும்போது அப்பா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படியே நம்ம அப்படியே ரொம்ப நம்மள அப்படி ஒரு மாதிரி ட்ரூப் ஆயிட்டு நம்ம ஷ்ரிங்க் ஆயிட்டு அப்படி அந்த மாதிரி அதே ஒரு கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் லெவலோட யூ ஷுட் வாக் அவுட். ஸோ தட் இஸ் ஹவு யூ ஷுட் க்ளோஸ் யுவர் இன்டர்வியூஸ். And I told you that the skill identification tool I will be giving a tip about how to identify our skills, because there are a lot of social media, there are a lot of things, a lot of websites which speaks about the jobs, right? So when you are a job seeker after completing your education, if you are planning to get into a job, there are a lot of websites. They'll say you'll just fill up your resume, you pay this much of money, we'll get back to you about the interview, this, that. A lot of agencies are there, a lot of associations are there. But one thing which is very much accessible to everyone, அது ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா நம்ம எல்லாருமே செய்யலாம், நான் செய்யலாம், நீங்க செய்யலாம், எல்லாருமே செய்யற ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் விஷயம் என்னன்னா, லிங்க்டின்ல வந்து ஒரு மெம்பர். I don't know how many of you are the part of LinkedIn. So LinkedInல வந்து இந்த இதுல வந்து if you are the member of LinkedIn, if you just go and see the home page, on the home pageல பாத்தீங்கன்னா you can see that அதுல வந்து networking ஒன்னு இருக்கும், jobs ஒன்னு இருக்கும். So for example, I am an associate professor, so I can give all the details about the associate professor in my profile. So what will happen is I can maintain a network. நான் வந்து ஒரு நெட்வொர்க் வச்சுக்கலாம். அந்த இன்னும் வேற காலேஜஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ற அசோசியேட் ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ் கூட நெட்வொர்க் வச்சுக்கலாம். That is for the person who is already into the job. And what for the new candidates, new persons where the person, he or she has completed his or her education, அவங்க என்ன செய்யலாம்? அவங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா, அந்த ஜாப்ஸ்ல போயிட்டு அதுல நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஜாப்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு காலம் இருக்கு. அதுல போயிட்டு if they give all the details, so what sort of job they are searching for, என்ன மாதிரி ஜாப், ப்ரொடக்ஷன் ஓரியன்டட் ஜாபா, இல்ல லைக் வேற ஏதாவது கம்ப்யூட்டர் ஓரியன்டடா. ஸோ யூ கேன் கிவ் ஆல் த டீட்டெயில்ஸ். ஸோ யூ வில் கெட் நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் த கம்பெனிஸ் வேர் தே ஹாவ் ஜாப்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த ஜாப்ஸ்க்கு வந்து அப்போ வந்து இப்போ இந்த கொஸ்டின் இஸ், அந்த கம்பெனிஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்றதுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி குவாலிஃபிகேஷன் தேவைப்படுது. ஸோ அதுக்கு தான் அந்த நெட்வொர்க்கிங் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கான்செப்ட் இருக்கு. இப்போ அந்த நெட்வொர்க்கிங்ல இதே மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி கம்பெனிஸ்ல ஒர்க் பண்ற பர்சன்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் அதுல இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அவங்களோட ப்ரொஃபைல நீங்க ஓபன் பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா வாட் சார்ட் ஆஃப் குவாலிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் தேவை, அவங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி குவாலிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு, அவங்க என்ன மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் வச்சிருக்காங்க, அவங்க என்ன நாலேஜை கெயின் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க, வாட் யூனிக் ஸ்கில் அவங்க வச்சிருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கறது அந்த நெட்வொர்க்கிங்ல நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா. So what you can do is, நீ அந்த ஒரு ட்ரீம் ஜாப், உனக்கு ஒரு ஜாப் இருக்குன்னா அந்த ஜாப்காக நீ என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா இந்த நெட்வொர்க்கிங்ல போயிட்டு அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஸ்கில்ல நீ வந்து டெவலப் பண்ணிக்கணும். அந்த பர்டிகுலர் பர்சனலா வேற கம்ப்யூட்டர் சென்டர்ஸ்லயோ வேற இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்ஸ்லயோ எங்க ஏதாவது வந்து அந்த ஒரு அந்த ஸ்கில்ல நீ வந்து டெவலப் பண்ணிட்டு when you go for interview, அப்போ வந்து இன்னும் பாசிட்டிவான ஒரு இன்டர்வியூ அட்டென்ட் பண்றதுக்கு சான்ஸ். ஸோ LinkedIn is a very good platform where you can like you will be able to gain a lot of things about if you are planning for an interview attend பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறவங்களுக்கு இந்த LinkedInல வந்து மெம்பர் ஆகிறது, it's a good thing. So this will help you to like what to say, to gain knowledge about நீ உன்னோட ட்ரீம் ஜாப் அச்சீவ் பண்றதுக்கு, உன்னோட ட்ரீமை, உன்னோட டெஸ்டினேஷனை அச்சீவ் பண்றதுக்கு என்ன செய்யலாம் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு பாத்வே ஓபன் பண்றது இந்த LinkedIn மூலம். இட்ஸ் வெரி சிம்பிள். ஸோ ஃபேஸ்புக்ல நம்ம ட்விட்டர்ல அக்கௌண்ட் வச்சிருக்கிற மாதிரியே LinkedInலயும் அக்கௌண்ட் வச்சு you can browse through the informations there. Okay, so that was the thing about that was the mantra which I was really eagerly waiting to share with you. So be a member of LinkedIn, and few of the FAQs. So most of the time interviews like கேக்குற questions, இந்த questions வந்து repeated ஆ இருக்கும். Tell us about yourself, why do you leave your last job, ஏற்கனவே ஜாப்ல இருந்தீங்க, நீங்க ஏன் அந்த ஜாப் விட்டீங்க, உங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்கு, so how do you feel that you are really successful, and what do you think about your co-workers, previous organization பத்தி சொல்லுங்க, இல்ல படிச்ச இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் பத்தி சொல்லுங்க. நிறைய சமயத்துல they ask வந்து படிச்ச இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ல உங்களுக்கு பிடிக்காதவங்க யாரா இருந்தாங்க, இல்ல வேலை பார்த்த இடத்துல உங்களுக்கு பிடிக்காதவங்க யாரா இருந்தாங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஆன்சர்ஸ் சொல்லுங்க. You should be very careful. And whether you have applied for the job in some other organizations, and do you have someone who is working in this particular organization. So these are some of the questions which are very frequently asked in the interview sessions. Fine. And now the forum is open, and if you have anything to discuss with me, I'm ready to answer. So எனக்கு இருக்கிற knowledge which definitely I will help you to go through. Yeah, thank you. And before the discussion, I once again thank the entire team of IET for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to be the part of this webinar. A special word of thanks to Bright Sir also. So also on behalf of myself and also on behalf of Scott Christian College, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, ma'am, for your brief explanation. So it was very helpful. I hope it will be very helpful for all the students out here. So you covered almost all the sessions, like right from the beginning, how to be a part of the interview and what are all the skills they will expect from you, and types of interviews and different types of handshakes. So it even shows how depth you went inside the topic. So I hope this is very interesting, and I
Thank you.
wholeheartedly thank Bright sir for this. So I'm very happy that he have given us the right resource person for this day. So unfortunately he couldn't join today because of some
Yeah,
busy
he's
schedule.
busy with some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me. Thank you, Geoffer. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I kindly request the participants to ask questions and get benefited out of this. If you have some queries or anything, you can just write in the chat box or unmute your microphones and ask the questions.
எல்லாமே புரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னா டவுட் வராது, புரியலைன்னாலும் டவுட் வராது. I don't know how to take this. Anyhow, I take it in positive sense. நான் சொன்னது உங்க எல்லாருக்கும் ரீச் ஆயிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope this is very simple and you made the presentation in a very easy to understand manner. So I hope everyone is clear with that. So one more request to all the participants. So in case if you have any doubts or you want to refer it in the future also, we are forecasting this in YouTube live parallelly. So if you want to refer in the future also, you can go to our IET Kanyakumari local network channel and have a look at this video. So, thank you very much, ma'am, for your time and for your preparation for this session. So to end this session, I would like to call Dr. Marsaline Beno, who is the Secretary of IET Kanyakumari Local Network and also the Vice Principal of St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering, to present the vote of thanks. Over to you.
Good evening, all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Respected Chairman of our IET Kanyakumari Local Network, Dr. S. Joseph Xavier, Honorable Resource Person of the 7th IET KKLN webinar, Dr. Bini Marin, ma'am, and my dear friends, once again, good evening and warm greetings to everyone from IET Kanyakumari Local Network. I deem it my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks on today's event. This year, we all know IET is celebrating 150th year anniversary. So our Kanyakumari Network also plan to celebrate by conducting 15 numbers of webinars. So in this context, today we are conducting the 7th one, webinar on interview techniques. Really, this session was very, very informative and useful one, especially all our budding engineers, our student members get benefited. I'm sure all the participants enjoyed by learning, by getting more tips on interview preparation. skills needed for companies, interview tips for dressing, resume preparation. Before going to interview, we have to check the documents like that, and body language for interview, communication, the need of communication, the confident communication, closing the interview, that is very important, like a lot of information. Finally, the skill identification tool, like it is actually very, very useful for our student community, and even also the any participants can take away some points for them also. So I am immensely thankful to our resource person and our chief guest, Dr. Bini Marin ma'am, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Business Management in Scott Christian College, for delivering a wonderful and useful webinar. On behalf of IET Kanyakumari Local Network, I extend our heartfelt and sincere thanks to her. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to acknowledge my sincere thanks to our Kanyakumari Local Network Chairman, Dr. S. Joseph Jaish. Under his dynamic leadership, our IET Kanyakumari Local Network functioning well. Even in the COVID-19 pandemic time, we also conducted many events through IET KKLN because of his commitment only. We are grateful for your welcome address and nice introduction of chief guest. So, on behalf of everyone, I extend our sincere thanks to you, sir. Thank you, sir. I wish to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to all our IET Kanyakumari Local Network office bearers, especially our Communities Committee South Asia CCSA member from Kanyakumari Local Network, Engineer Bright Reginold Raja, for arranging a best and opt resource person for this webinar. Also, I thank our young professional vice chairman, Engineer Geoffer Jaish, for his hard work to coordinate the event very successfully. Thank you all. Also, I thank all the committee members for their cooperation and support. Now it is very important, we have to thank all the participants, mostly from academia, mainly Arunachala College of Engineering for Women, and other participants also, for your active presence and participation from Kanyakumari Local Network. We sincerely thank. Also, we wish you all have a bright future. Thank you all. So once again, I thank each and everyone present here and support our Kanyakumari Local Network 7th webinar. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Stay blessed. So I'm signing out. Thank you. Thank you very much.